So you came back for a little bit more of that canine bitch league. We're right on. I just got done finding my instructor Chris dead in his office and was heading out across the shop, opened through that door to get out there to the fellas that had headed up to lunch to grab them to tell them that we needed some help because that old boy was dead. And I was yelling, "Gangus, hey man, we need some help. I think Chris is dead." Everybody stopped in their tracks, turned around, came back. We made our way through the shop. Everybody piled into the office around his desk. I was standing on his right side. Gangus was on his left side. I looked down at him. He still had his head all back on his chair, eyes wide open. I said, "See, Gangus, that brother's dead, man. We need to get some help up in this bad boy." Gangus looked at me. He's like, "Oh, shit, Canine, we in trouble, man." I looked back down at Chris. His eyes were still wide open, looking up at me, man. And all of a sudden, he just jumped up out of there and goes, "What the hell you kids doing in here?" And, man, my heart jumped out of my chest, let me tell you. That old man started laughing. Gangus and the crew were laughing. That old man's just like, "We got him, didn't we, Gangus? We got him." And, oh, man, they got me all right. I tell you what, my heart was thumping. I was like, man, that shit is not even funny, man. Chris says, "Oh, that's funny. Look at those two over there." Edge and Snoopy were standing over there like, everything's cool, right? Yeah, because see, they was as fresh as I was. So I was glad I wasn't the only one getting the butt into that one because that shit wasn't funny, man. Let me tell you. That old man didn't stop, though. He was like, "Did you see yourself? You should have seen yourself. I wish I would have had a camera on you. That was funny. You looked like you'd just seen a ghost." I was like, "Well, I'll tell you what. I thought I just did see a ghost because I thought you was dead. Let me tell you, old man, you played that perfect." He goes, "Yeah, we do that sometimes around here, man, with the new kids. I get a kick out of it." "Did you get a kick out of it?" I was like, "No, but it's something I will never forget. I'll tell you that." He said, "You look a little mad." I was like, "Well, I'm not too happy, man. I'll tell you what. I'll catch all y'all later. How's that?" So I started heading out, and old Chris yells, "Oh, you can leave, just don't leave mad there, Canine." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, Chris." So I went ahead and headed out. Rest of the day, pretty uneventful. Now that night, in the evenings between 6 and 9 on the weekends, you know, Saturday, Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday till 11, we had kind of free time. And you can go down to the commissary where the gym was and play basketball or pool or ping pong, get stuff from the commissary. But they also had this thing called the couples lounge up in the administrative building that was up by the dormitories. Well, back in the day it was. I don't know about now, or if they even have it. So, you know, I come rolling up out of Animal House and I look over towards the girls' dorm and I see Destiny standing there outside. I was like, "Oh, right on." So I made a beeline over there and I said, "How you doing this evening?" As I stood up next to her. And she says, "Hey, Canine, you ever been in that couples lounge?" I was like, "No, not yet." "Why, what are you thinking?" She says, "Well, I've never been in there either. We're a couple, you want to go in there?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, let's go in there and check it out. Heck, I'm game, you know." So we strolled over to that couples lounge, which I said was an administrative building, and came down the hallway, opened up the door, and it's kind of a big area, empty room, you know, kind of. It has a couple overstuffed chairs that two people could sit in, and it had a couple love seats, and had a little music playing out of a radio. The lights were kind of dim, you know. I think staff would walk through there about every half hour or so just to make sure everybody was dressed, although no one really took it that far. It's just some place to be, you know, with the one you loved. You know, be quiet for a little bit. People were making out, but, you know, not too crazy. So she made our way all the way back to the end there and had a little love seat. And I sat down back towards the corner of the love seat. Well, to my surprise, you know, she kind of sat down across my lap, you know, and I was like, "Well, right on." And she says, "So you never been in here?" And I was like, "Nope, not till now. And it was worth the wait, let me tell you." She says, "Is that right?" And I said, "That's correct." She says, "So let me ask you a question." And I said, "I'm all listening." And she says, "What are you thinking right this second?" And I said, "Well, if I tell you what I'm thinking right this second, are you going to listen and let me finish, or are you going to butt in?" And she said, "No, I'll let you finish. Go ahead and tell me what you're thinking right this second." So I kind of said, "Well, let me think. This is what I'm thinking right now. How about I tell you, turn page